This is the iPhone XR. I'm going to go over all the design and features, and then at the end of the video, I'll let you know if it's worth buying or not. If you want a more detailed written review, check out the link in the description below or go to techtechmoretech.com. The iPhone XR was announced alongside the iPhone XS and XS Max, which were reviewed last week, as their new middle-tier phone. Now, historically, Apple has always kept their previous year's phones at a discounted price, and that acted as the middle-tier phone. However, Apple has removed the iPhone X from their lineup altogether and replaced it with this, the iPhone XR. The iPhone XR is an exercise in compromises. In order to make something cheaper, you've got to compromise a few things. So let's find out what they are. The edges of the phone are made out of aluminum, as opposed to the stainless steel found on the XS and XS Max. Even though having a lot of color options is a worthy trade-off in my opinion, the aluminum simply does not feel as nice as the stainless steel, and I consider this compromise number 1. You can get this phone in 6 different colors: white, yellow, coral, blue, red, or black. They all look fantastic, so you really can't go wrong with any of them. If you do decide to get this phone though, please do yourself a favor and only get a clear case. The second obvious differentiator between the iPhone XR and XS is the camera. You'll notice on the back of the XR is only a single camera lens. It is the same f1.8 wide-angle lens that's found on the iPhone XS and XS Max, but without the telephoto addition. This is obviously compromise number 2. Here are some sample shots of the iPhone XR, but here they are also compared to an iPhone 6. It's a strange comparison, sure, but keep in mind a lot of people buying the iPhone XR are going to be coming from older phones like the iPhone 6 or 6S, and this is going to be a really good example of just how much better the new camera is going to be. The third and main compromise is the screen. While it looks like it's the same screen as the iPhone XS, it is in fact a different display altogether. The iPhone X and XS have an OLED panel, which means that each pixel is its own source of light. What this means is that it has super deep black levels, excellent contrast, and really thin bezels. The iPhone XR has an LCD display similar to the one found in the 8 and 8 Plus. It has a resolution of 1792 by 828, which only gives it a pixel density of 326 ppi. By no means is this a bad display though, it really isn't. It has excellent viewing angles, great colors, great contrast. It just isn't as great as the iPhone XS. It also doesn't have 3D touch, which I personally miss more than anything else. Due to internal packaging, they simply weren't able to fit 3D touch in there. So instead, it's replicated by a long press with a haptic tap at the end of it. That works well in some situations, but most 3D touch gestures like peek and pop and long pressing an icon to get shortcuts are gone completely. These 3 compromises have a cumulative worth of $250 according to Apple, because that's how much the price difference is between the iPhone XS and an iPhone XR. Just about everything else in these 2 phones is exactly the same. They both have the same super powerful custom Apple A12 Bionic processor, which will ensure that your phone is going to be fast for years to come. It's both more efficient and more powerful than last year's A11, though the main areas of improvement are in the graphics and the neural engine. What this means is the iPhone XR should be able to keep up with all the demanding applications and games that are going to be coming out. It also means that it'll keep up with all the machine learning, such as facial recognition, Siri improvements, etc. The front-facing camera is also the same, which means you can take the same portrait selfies, you can utilize Animojis, you can utilize Memojis, and you can have Face ID. Ultimately, you're going to end up with very similar quality shots on the XR as you would if you opted for the more expensive XS. You also get the same quality as you'd expect from any Apple device. Even though it's not made out of stainless steel, the iPhone XR still feels very premium. At no point will you ever feel like you bought a cheap device. Just like with the plus-sized iPhones and the XS Max, this is firmly a two-handed phone. In terms of size, it slots in right between the XS and XS Max. And I found this has 2 interesting benefits. Firstly, you have both standard and zoom screen modes in the display settings, which only the iPhone X and XS don't have. But when you select the standard mode, you can actually see more on the screen than you can with either the XS or the XS Max, despite having a lower resolution screen. Secondly, this phone has the best battery life out of any iPhone. Due to its sheer size and lower resolution screen, it can comfortably get anywhere between 30 and 90 more minutes of battery life than an iPhone XS. So it really has all-day battery life. So with all that being said, it brings us to the golden question. Should you buy this? When reviewing a product, I think it's very important to understand who the target audience is. This is not a phone for people that bought an iPhone X last year. It might not even be a phone for someone that bought an iPhone 7 Plus. This is for people that are still hanging on to an iPhone 6 or 6S. People that don't want to spend $750 to $1,000 every other year. They just want a phone that will do its job and last a while. So if you have an older iPhone and you need a new one, this is the one to get, without a doubt. You'll get just about all the same features and benefits as a more expensive XS, but for $250 less. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, hit that like and subscribe button for more videos to come. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below and I will get to them as best I can. Till next time, see ya.